Hey boomers, what's up? Seriously, where's all this hair coming from? Yeah, that's a Battle Royale mod. One thing that I came to realize, how do you even do these drift events? I actually might need to buy a drift car. One thing they've done with this mod when it comes to the drifting is that the cars behave very differently. I'm not sure this car has any chance against actual drift cars. Did I win? We did. Wow, it's loud. Tell me what it looked like. So, let's get selling here. Unlock auto scalp. Win races that will actually mean less attention from the police. That still makes no sense to me. What I like about Neville, he gives you more money. To be honest, the top 42 are all very similar to me, like Carbon, Pro Street, and Underground 2 basically get the same rating from me. They're all great games, but they all play out differently. That's what I always admired about Black Box. They actually made several games that were all fantastic, but they all played differently. I like the mechanic of your teammates being able to win. It makes a lot more sense than any, team mechanic, so to say. Ah, the cops, dude. No, I can't restart, huh? Shit. The thing that annoys me the most in Carbon is the interaction with cops in traffic. Like, that stuff slows you down so much more than it did in Most Wanted. And I think it's way better in Most Wanted. One feature, or one of the features of Carbon that I don't really enjoy is that the different car types have different handling. Because whenever something like that is the case, there's usually one best class and the other two just suck. 160k? Damn. Pretty sure I could use that car for other things too. Not only is it a Supra, it is a stock Supra. Oh yeah, that's definitely a drift car. One thing I like about this is just the extreme speeds you can move around corners at. Those are usually my favorite racing games where I can go really fast around the corner. All these anti-grav games, I like them so much because they have an insane sense of speed. Doesn't matter if it's F-Zero or Wipeout or any clone of a newer game that has appeared. I only have a few upgrades. I have the engine, tires, and what's the third thing? Nitrous. I only got this car partly upgraded, but it is kicking ass. So one trick you can do, even in the mods, is whenever you lose a territory, you just reload your save file, and you get it back immediately. As long as you have autosave on, this works. One thing that Carbon has going on for itself is definitely the layout of the canyons. They are really fun to drive, and yeah, I can't really name another game that has exciting canyons to drive in. Maybe one of the, Japanese drifting games, those initial D-racing games. Actually, the grid games. I remember those having some fairly interesting mountain races. Wow, I did make it. That was insane. I didn't think I would make that corner without losing my streak. Ooh, I still have some strawberry chocolates. To be honest, I think Most Wanted and Carbon both aged really well. Carbon maybe even more. Some of the lighting effects are a little bit overkill, but generally it looks good. The only game that looks way better in my opinion is Need for Speed World. Das war der Typ mit dem langen Ohr. Ah, shit. Neville! What the shit was that? What a clusterfuck. Getting pinned in between cops and racers in succession. So we are recreating the prologue Supra. Is that it? No, the same three. My brain, dude. I think it might be this one, huh? Now that it's fully beefed up, that actually looks pretty good. I like it. Easy. The hot shits win. He went down the hill. The cop ignored me. I love it. Okay, let's get some proper car. Oh yeah. Maybe I just use the 918. That's the one thing about Heat that kind of reminded me of Carbon. You know why I didn't like Carbon too much when it initially came out? Because the career mode was so much shorter than Most Wanted. That was the main reason. The main reason I didn't like Carbon as much as Most Wanted initially was simply because it was much shorter than Most Wanted. Like the Porsche GT 500. No, I think Carbon was too short. You know, I will agree that Most Wanted might have been too long, but I personally really enjoyed Most Wanted and the cop chases and everything, so I really didn't mind that Most Wanted was pretty lengthy and, to be honest, sometimes even repetitive. It still was a lot more enjoyable to play the career mode in Most Wanted and Carbon. You know how I played Carbon? Because I didn't like the challenge series in Most Wanted, I didn't even attempt to play the challenge series in this game. Like, I only played through the career mode and I didn't like it much. Yeah, Carbon with a lot of content, it does feel interesting. Because that's like the biggest point, as I mentioned earlier. The thing that I hated the most about Carbon was just lacking content, so having a whole bunch of extra content is kind of nice. And you know, see this extra area here in between that has been added to the game? The grey one? It's kind of cool. I'm surprised he's still driving. Oh, I love the grip on this car. This is like one of the few cars in this game that actually feels like Most Wanted. For next year, for 2020, of course the Need for Speed Marathon comes back in September again, I would say. I think pairing it with September is a good idea, usually. And the other thing is I want to do a mixed racing marathon where I do all kinds of racing games that are good. That's the plan. I appreciate all the support, guys. Guys, you have been amazing. Sorry for me being tired, but it is what it is. I gave my best and I hope you appreciate it anyways. Because I did definitely appreciate you guys hanging out. See you tomorrow. Sleep tight and good night.